Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Welcome to this online teaching academy, Ekalaiva. Class 11, Business Studies. In this lesson 3, we are going to learn about private, public and global enterprises. So, from this lesson, we are going to learn the features of different forms of public enterprises like departmental undertakings, statutory corporations, and government companies. Private sector and public sector. So, our Indian economy consists of both privately owned and government owned business enterprises. So, our economy is called mixed economy. Since our government of India has opted for a mixed economy, which is classified into private sector and public sector. So, what is a private sector? Children, you would have visited various shops, various enterprises, various firms, isn't it? So, in your neighborhood also, in your society also, you could have noticed various shops or various firms providing services like medical services or legal services, and you could have gone to some companies, private limited companies or public limited companies. So all these come under private sector undertakings because they are owned by individuals or a group of individuals. You could have learned in the second chapter, that is forms of various business organizations like sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family, cooperative society, and companies. That is, in case of private sector undertakings, their motive is to maximize the profit. So, these come under private sector undertaking because they are owned, controlled, financed, managed by private individuals. So they are called private sector undertakings. When you move on to public sector undertaking, when we say public sector, the word comes to our mind is government. So these public sector undertakings are owned and managed by government. Example, you can say Postal Services, Life Insurance Corporation of India, All India Radio, Doordarshan, and even the Defense Department, all these come under public sector undertakings. So, these public sector undertakings may either be fully owned by the central or state government, or they may be partly owned by the central or state government. Sometimes they may be the part of the ministry, or they may come into existence by a special act of parliament. Actually, they may be a part of the ministry. There is a separate ministry for the departmental undertakings, or they may come into existence by a special act of parliament. A special act has been made by the parliament for these departmental undertakings. The government, through these enterprises, participates in the economic activities of the country. So, when we say about the public sector, their foremost motive is to provide services to the public. That is to improve the economic condition of the country, to improve the wealth condition of the society. So, their prime motive is to provide services. Private sector, their motive is to maximize profit, but under public sector, their aim is to develop the nation, to improve the society, to provide services to the public, goods and services to the public at a cheaper rate and at a good quality. So, even though they earn meager income by doing these things, their aim is to provide service to the public. That is why public sector undertakings they are run by the government. Suppose if you take the railways for example, it involves a huge investment and the gestation period is also very long. So private individuals would not be interested to invest in all these undertakings. That is why government have come forward to develop all these undertakings so that they can develop the society or economy also. So these departmental or public sector undertakings may be a part of the ministry or they may come into existence by a special act of parliament. The government, through these enterprises, participates in the economic activities of the country, that is, developing the income of the country. These enterprises were formed by the government to participate in the economic activities of the country and they are expected to contribute to the economic development. By establishing all these public sector undertakings, they are expected to contribute to the economic development of the country. And these enterprises are owned by the public. They are accountable since they are run by the government, they are accountable to the parliament. Okay, we will see various forms of organizations under public sector. What are they? Departmental undertaking, statutory corporation, and a government company. So this is the oldest and most traditional form of organizing public enterprises. These departmental undertakings are very traditional form of business enterprises and these are established as departments. So you can say the example of railway department, postal department, and there is a separate ministry which takes care of these departmental undertakings. So they are considered to be the part of the ministry itself. These government functions through these departments, that is, the officers and employees of these departments work under the government. These departments have not been constituted as autonomous, that is, they cannot take any action on their own. Since they are controlled by the government, the officers or employees of the departmental undertakings have no independent authority. They are under the government. They act through the officers of the government and its employees are government employees. So the departmental undertakings employees are considered as government employees. The rules and regulations which are applicable to other government employees are applicable to the departmental undertakings employees also. So these undertakings may be under the state government or under the central government. The rules of central or state government are applicable to the employees of the departmental undertaking also. You can take the examples of railways and post and telegraphic department. So railways are they are playing a very prominent role in the under the government. For example, these that is they are very much useful for transporting arms and weapons to the military services. So when departmental undertakings are concerned, they are very much useful in the safety affairs. And what are the features? The funding, that is, mainly the departmental undertakings are financed by the government. The fund comes from the government treasury. Same way, the revenue earned by these departmental undertakings are also paid into the treasury so that it is a source of income for the government. So they are subject to accounting. Since they are run by the government, these departmental undertakings are accountable to the government and they are applicable. These audit controls are applicable to the departmental undertakings also, like how it is done in the other government departments. The employees of the governments are government servants. That is, the employees of these departmental undertakings are government servants. It is generally considered to be a major subdivision of the government department and is subject to direct control of the ministry. So, since there is a separate ministry, the concerned minister is responsible. He is accountable for the working of the government departments, that is working of the departmental undertakings. The concerned minister is accountable or answerable to the parliament for the working of the particular departmental undertaking. For example, if you take railways, the railway minister is responsible for the working of the railway department and they are accountable to the ministry concerned. So these undertakings are responsible to the ministry concerned. What are the merits? So it facilitates the parliament to if exercise effective control over their operations. These ensure a high degree of public accountability. That is, they are answerable for the income and expenditure, receipts and payments done by these departmental undertakings to the parliament. The revenue earned by these enterprises goes directly to the treasury and hence is a source of income for the government. The income earned by these departments is directly going to the government treasury. So those income can be spent on various welfare activities as it is a source of income for the government. And it is most suitable where national security is concerned. So, for atomic power supply, all those undertakings they work under the government. They are all departmental undertakings, even the defense department. So, as far as safety and security is concerned, this departmental form of undertaking is very much suited as they are controlled by the government. Then, what are the limitations? These departmental undertakings fails to provide flexibility. That is, the officers or the employees under these undertakings cannot act on their own. They cannot take independent decisions. For everything, they have to get approval from the government. And the employees or heads of departments are not allowed to take any independent decisions. The bureaucrats' overcautious and conservative approval does not allow these enterprises to take risky ventures because they cannot introduce any innovative techniques because they have to since they follow the policies and principles which are laid down in the past, they are not applicable for the present situation context. So these enterprises are unable to take advantage of many business opportunities. There is a writ tapism in day to day operations, and no action can be taken unless it goes through proper channels of authority because it involves a lot of paperwork, it involves a lot of procedures to reach the higher officials. So, the decision making gets delayed. So, it cannot quickly take any decisions on their own. They have to wait for the approval of the ministry. Since it takes a very long time, there is a red tapism in day to day operations. Immediately, no action can be taken. And there is a lot of political interference through the ministry. Since it comes under separate ministry, there is an interference by the political authorities. These organizations are insensitive to consumer needs and do not provide adequate service to them. So, since the officers are guided by the rules and regulations of the ministry, any change cannot be made easily. That is, they cannot change anything quickly or easily, even though there are some insensitive, uh, they are insensitive to the consumer needs, but the officers or the employees under some departmental undertakings do not provide adequate services to them because they are following the traditional methods and they cannot change anything easily as it requires lot of procedures. Okay, children, we have completed today the what is the meaning of private sector and public sector and various forms of organizations are there. Under them, we have seen about the departmental undertaking. We will meet you in the next class, children. Thank you.